Thank you. UNECE has a long-standing experience of working with cities and for cities. First and foremost, as part of our Intergovernmental Committee on Housing and Land Management. Housing and land management issues are critical for cities, and this includes very practical policy tools that we develop for cities to tackle issues of cadastre, administering land. Now, increasingly, we focus on housing and affordability and sustainability of housing, understanding and helping both governments, so ministries in charge of housing, but also cities of all sizes to understand what practical solutions they have when it comes to rent management, when it comes to new materials used, to energy efficiency, to include ensuring that new construction is climate smart, and then more generally in ensuring that new housing projects include affordability element by design. Increasingly, we work with the financial sector. So, for example, with the mortgage market operators to create new financial solutions for affordable and sustainable housing in the pan-European region. That's one big block. The second big block is the work we do on environment. We host a number of multilateral environmental agreements. One of them is the Air Convention, and it has very specific tools that member states and cities can use to ensure proper monitoring of emissions, of pollution. As you know, smog and air pollution issues is a big problem, big challenge for cities around the world. In Europe, thanks to the Air Convention, we have achieved a significant reduction in smog, and we hope that this experience can now be used elsewhere in the world. The third area where we help cities to become much more climate smart is greening urban transport. Transport and mobility is a big source of emissions, but is also an enabler of economic growth, activity, labor mobility in cities. So we cannot just expect there to be less transport, but we need to design public transport systems. We need to have biking and walking as preferred modes in cities as much as possible. And so the work we do there is both on the side of regulating mobility. For example, UNECE hosts the only global intergovernmental group on regulating autonomous vehicles, and we expect global regulations on this to emerge soon, but also looking at the environmental and health side of things. So, for example, through our joint program with the World Health Organization called the Pan-European Program on Transport, Health and Environment, where we issued recently guidelines for how to design biking zones and biking lanes for cities around the world. These are some of the examples of what we do to help cities become greener and more sustainable. So we see a lot of innovation coming from cities. The way we know it is not just from literature. We at UNECE we host an annual forum of mayors, which has now become a global event and is the unique forum which brings mayors to the UN, where they have a voice not just as a member of delegation, but as the head of delegation. So this is actually the only existing intergovernmental forum which welcomes mayors as primary participants. So they share a lot of stories with us and examples of their innovation. Some of the key themes that emerge. First, a 15-minute city. Walkable cities where the urban fabric is at the disposal of citizens is key. Creating blocks or clusters of city blocks where people feel it's safe enough and convenient enough to walk, where they have amenities, where they have services, where they have green spaces. So 15-minute city is one. Second, a major trend in city innovation is citizen-driven governance. Models of city development at community level where citizens take charge and actually define the way things work. And we support this work both at normative level, for example, through our convention called the Aarhus Convention that manages the environmental participation rights. But next big trend is, green and climate smart city. Regenerative practices, circular building construction, and recycling and reusing buildings, as well as modular buildings made from recycling materials and other circular economy solutions are a big trend in Europe. And we believe it's really important to promote and share the experiences that have emerged. And finally, I would mention digitalization and the use of AI. So we can imagine cities already 5-10 years from now where most of the mobility will be powered by artificial intelligence, where city design will need to be done in an integrated manner. You will no longer have the luxury of just assuming, everything works. You would need to actually manage it as a whole system, starting from traffic management to mobility, warning signals, safety features, to how buildings operate. So cities will increasingly be cities of autonomous vehicles whose functioning is integrated with urban design. So buildings and cars will have to interact. It will be increasingly a city where AI helps optimize everything from waste disposal to traffic, to use of public spaces, to the benefit of citizens, because overcrowding and on the one hand and underuse on the other are both major problems for cities, especially cities in Europe that often have a big tourist flow. So we will see a lot of smart digital solutions becoming reality, but it will be critical to ensure that A, there is always human governance, and B, that we take conscious decisions on how we design these solutions, including with community participation and citizen co-design, so that cities don't become just run by machines. So maybe I'll leave it at that, and I hope that the forum that now has its 20th anniversary can be a space where cities and governments alike from various parts of the world can share their experiences and also can help design a new generation of solutions to make cities more resilient and sustainable.